Everybody, in this video, we're going to be talking about pricing. Your price is something that's very, very important in the maturity stage, and we'll talk about why. You can actually adjust your price to boost your conversion rate and bring you in more revenue and more profit in this stage for a couple of reasons, and we'll cover that. This becomes effective in the maturity stage because our early adopters have already purchased. And even beyond the early adopters, the people that we've scaled into have also purchased. But there's a lot of people who haven't purchased, and that's who we want to focus on here. Frequency is now used in our favor because people who have purchased might be getting their items now. And if they are, they're going to comment some social proof for us about how much they love the item, how they ordered it, they received it, and it's great. And maybe even snap some photos for us, which is great as well, that we should take and then use on our site. We also are going to have people getting the ad again in their newsfeed who haven't purchased but are still interested. We want to turn these people into buyers now. But why haven't they purchased? Why haven't the clickers become buyers? Because people are very, very price sensitive in any market. Any market, doesn't matter what market you're in. Think of big companies who create new brands specifically for different price points. For cars or trucks. Think about how many different types of trucks there are in the Ford brand. That's not just for people's likes and looks and feels. It's a lot about being at different price points for people to purchase that. There's somebody that's going to walk into a Ford dealership and not buy a $30,000 truck, but would buy a $20,000 truck. Or the same thing with beer. When they walk into a fridge and they see 5 different brands, one at $4.99, $5.99, $6.99, $7.99, $8.99, their price point is going to be basically influencing their purchase there as well as their taste profile. Both of those are taken into consideration. And then TVs as well. There's how many different types and qualities and all the different things that go into a Samsung TV. So we're taking all those into consideration, that we can mimic that same model here. And it's worked for us very, very well. I call it the CB2 theory. CB2 is the discount store that Crate & Barrel has that they send their slower moving inventory to. So they have inventory on their floor and it sells like hotcakes for a while, and then it slows down. And they need that floor space for something else. Something else that's going to sell like crazy. Maybe it's a seasonal thing or whatever. But they want that floor space to be for a better lead item for them. But it's the real world. We're in the virtual world here. So we're gonna learn from this, but we're gonna adapt it to our Facebook ads in our store. So they discount this inventory to a lower price to make sure it continues to sell and they can eliminate their inventory. We don't have inventory sometimes. Sometimes that's not a problem. Sometimes you do. So this will help you move that inventory. There's even a discount section inside the CB2 store for an extra push to get inventory moved. There's also Nordstrom Rack, and there's a handful of these other stores that are out there as well, where the same type of mentality happens, right? You got the very premier store where everything is, very well priced. A lot of these stores are very, very expensive. And then they move it to another store to get that other price point. And those people that are at the other price point, they think that, Nordstrom or Crate & Barrel is just too expensive, but CB2 or Nordstrom Rack is well within their price point and their means. So how to reduce your price? You currently should be priced competitively in your market. So example is $24.99 for a shirt. What is your current cost at this point? For example, it's $10. So our current profit is $15. We're just rounding here for good numbers. So in this example, our current cost per conversion is at $7.50. So we're actually making about $7.50 every sale, right? Because $7.50 plus $7.50, $15. So we want to drop our pricing level to say $23.99 and improve the cost per conversion. So what does that mean? It's important that your cost per conversion improves more than your price drop, right? So if I lowered the price by $1, That means that your cost per conversion should settle in around $6.50 to break even. It has to be better than that to make a profit and make that price drop worthwhile. What we have found is that the right price point will spike our conversion and reduce our costs per conversion below the break-even point. So we ran a necklace that we'll show you in the case studies that we were running for a while at a $9.95 price point, and then I dropped it to $7.95, and the conversion rate spiked through the roof. And I was actually bringing in just as much money in profit than I was at the height of the $9.95 level. And then we let it run for a while, and it reduced down again, the conversion rate. So we dropped it to $6.95, and then we've been running it up till very recently. And that brought in, $30,000 plus. So the takeaway here is that if I was sticking to the t-shirt model, once it was unprofitable or getting close to breaking even with selling it at $9.95, I would have probably just killed it and moved on to the next item. But in dropping that price point, I was able to run it for much, much longer and bring in much, much more profit. If your conversion rate doesn't improve enough to justify the price drop, return to the original price. So you can play around with the price point and get it to a reasonable level. Obviously, taking into account your cost per conversion, your cost for the item, so on and so forth, making sure that you're not lowering it below your cost, but play around with that pricing to see if you can't spike your conversion rate. You can show sale on the item here if you want, if it's appropriate, because sometimes people have that compared to price already. So, if you discount the item even further than that, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's already discounted. So you can just drop it at that point and people will naturally buy it at that lower price. This is handled on a product by product basis, but works good and great even for any lead offer. So this is what we do for our lead item. When we're drawing people into our store, it's really hard to pay attention to this on every item. But if I have, say, 2 or 3 lead items coming into my store, this is a perfect model to use because that lead item generally is there to bring people into the store and to get them to buy other stuff. So we can still make much more money, just getting that person into the store, getting them to buy the lead item plus some other items. But at this point, we're focused on the one item in the MVP model of getting them to the store and maximizing the profit for this single item. So let's go over the shoulder real quick just to make sure it's really clear for you on what to do here. So I have a shirt, or actually a tank top here, of an item that we were selling in our test store. And you can see it was priced at $24.99. So if this was my lead item, I was bringing people in, getting sales, and I was running it for 2 weeks. I noticed the conversion rates start to dip, right? So now I got to take action on the price because I know there's plenty of people left in the audience. I know I've only made a small amount of conversions relative to the size of the niche. And I think there's more money there because the reaction of people are great. We're getting lots of comments, lots of likes, but not as many sales as I think I can get. So I want to push it further. So what I would do here is check this box and we would go into changing prices. So you could do this if all of your items are the same price. You can see everything on my screen is at the $24.99 level, but there's probably some hoodies down here. Yeah, so there's some hoodies. So what I would want to do is go ahead and take these guys off. Come back up. Bulk actions, change prices. So now I could enter in $23.99 or $24.99, I'm sorry, $22.99 and kind of walk it down to find that, really good sweet spot. So being conscious of my costs, I can play around with that pricing to find another conversion optimization sweet spot and then bring in more revenue, basically have the frequency into my advantage and get some more buyers into our store. So that's it for this video. Pricing is something that's very, very important. It's in our control now, so that's really an advantage for us. And don't be scared about adjusting that price to see what kind of boost you can get to your conversion rate and make some more money. All right? Talk more in the next video.